on YouTube about that girl who has like relations with dolphins? Is that allowed? No way. Really? It's I thought this was like an urban myth. What? Margaret Howe Lovett was a research assistant in the 1960s who took part in a pioneering experiment to teach a captive dolphin how to communicate with humans. She formed a close bond with the dolphin Peter, and oh! Did the lady fall in love with the dolphin, or did the dolphin fall in love with her? I don't know. I'm scared that this is just gonna be depressing.
Margaret was an animal lover who took her passion for dolphins to unbelievable limits.
What is this
She
narration?
had sexual encounters with a young adolescent dolphin, and this relationship would kill the dolphin and leave her with terrible memories. This
What?
is the tragic true life story of Margaret Howe Lovett's sexual encounters with a dolphin. Margaret was born.
Shut the fuck up. Some of you people are twisted in the head. Some of you people are straight up fucked up and twisted, bro. After that like fucking depressing ass part of the video, I just see a chat message scroll by that says she sucked him dry. I can fix her. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, please. You guys are horrible. But I want to know what happened. I don't think she didn't the dolphin like die of a broken heart because she broke up with it? Is that what happened?
In St. Thomas, U.S. Virginia Island, in 1942, as a young girl, Margaret was always charmed by animals, and her fantasy about them was fed after she read a book called Miss Kelly, which was about a cat who could communicate with humans. From then on, Margaret's mind was filled with questions like, what if humans could understand animals better? Are there possibilities of higher level of bonding and intimacy? Her desire to find answers to such questions would motivate her to do what no one would anticipate with a dolphin left under her care. In her 20s, Lovett made a move to the Caribbean island of St. Thomas, and by some weird twist of fate, her new home was only a stone's throw away from a research laboratory funded by NASA, where dolphins were studied. So Margaret found herself a new hobby. After her daily activities, she would spend hours observing dolphins and return.
Why is this framed like a fucking unsolved mysteries?
Ace Ventura movie where someone kidnaps the dolphin mascot of the football team.
Her passion grew to the point that she just wanted to spend more time in the laboratory. The only way she could do that was to find a way to work there, and she did. At first, Lovett was only able to work there as a volunteer because she only had a little science background. However, as time went on, the director of the laboratory, Dr. Gregory Bateson, was impressed by the young lady's dedication, and he didn't hesitate to give her a job. Lovett was living the dream. Unbeknownst to her, things would take a dramatic twist on the job, a dramatic twist that would lead her to have a sexual encounter with a dolphin. John C. Lilly was a neuroscientist who also came to the Caribbean island laboratory. Like Lovett, he was also interested in dolphins. At that time, he was working on his new research lab, which was funded by NASA and the United States Navy.
NASA funded this lady's sexual encounters with this dolphin.
That by the end of this research, he would figure out a way to communicate with extraterrestrial life forms. Although this didn't happen, he sparked up a relationship with Margaret.
This is where your
He met the
dollars are going.
23-year-old volunteer when he was building a dolphinarium, a flooded dolphin house. This was the first piece of his puzzle. Of course, the young lady was taken by the doctor's research idea, and soon she would become his assistant. There were 3 dolphins, Lovett recalled: Peter, Pamela, and Sissy. According to her, Sissy was the biggest dolphin who dominated the pond. Pamela was the reserved and fearful one, while Peter, the dolphin she developed an entanglement with, was young and was sexually coming of age. They tried to make the animals mimic sounds through their blowholes, but this was not working.
What is going on with her face here? Is she wearing like a mask?
So, Lovett volunteered to move in permanently to monitor the dolphins,
Bro, this
hoping
girl's
that
fucked in
developing
the
a better
head.
bond with the animals would create a higher chance of success. Unfortunately, Dr. Lily and everyone at the lab totally misread the limits of this bonding. First, Margaret would try to get them to pronounce human-like sounds, just the same way a mother teaches language to a growing baby. While she was having significantly good progress with the other two dolphins, young Peter was too distracted to focus on his lessons. She would also try to change the pitch of her voice and take the words more slowly, but this was not working out either. Being a scientist in a frantic search for a breakthrough,
Peter,
John was always away on research trips with his first
Peter.
wife, Mary.
And the
They would
dolphins just, like, in
tour
the
around the
corner jacking
Caribbean
off.
on hired sailboats, looking for interesting animals to
Jacking off
observe.
with the pool
So,
fin.
most often, it was just young, naive Margaret and her 3 dolphins. Often she would hit a dead end and would have no one to share it with but a report book. So one of those days, she decided to take matters into her own hands. According to Lovett, she could only get the dolphin to make the hello sound, and when she tried to add Margaret, it became so difficult for the young dolphin, and he could barely make it past the sound without making bubbles.
M is very difficult. My name, hello.
All of this with the fucking intense unsolved mystery music is killing me.
Oh, Margaret, I worked on. And M is just impossible.
Reminds me of that talking
But he
seal, too,
eventually
from like the 1930s.
rolled over so that it kind of, he would bubble it into the water.
Is this lady still alive?
Margaret.
She even made Peter take his speech lessons twice a day, but nothing seemed to be working. Maybe it was time for a new solution. Peter was new to his sexual urges and was in the process of getting himself to adapt to these new body changes. So often in the separate water pool where he trained with Margaret, he would rub himself on Lovett. If I was sitting here, he would come up and look at the back of my knee for a long time, she narrated. He wanted to know how that thing worked, and I was so charmed by it. Margaret told interviewers that as this progressed, it was getting even harder to get Peter to return to the general pool, as she had always isolated him for training. So maybe the time was calling for a different approach. I wasn't uncomfortable as long as it wasn't too rough, she shared. In the beginning, I would put him on the elevator and say, "You go play with the girls for a day." Why didn't Peter have all this fun with the female dolphins? Well, according to Margaret, this was difficult to incorporate. Probably.
She just means... Okay, she's not talking about him, like, doing any, She's just talking about him, like, rubbing his head on her leg? Or his body, rubbing his dolphin body on her leg? His dripped out dolphin body?
All this fun with the female dolphins. Well, according to Margaret, this was difficult to incorporate, probably because Peter was not very fond of them, as he spent most of his time with Lovett.
Maybe
So
he
she
was
would
gay.
reluctantly decide to manually assist the dolphin with his sexual urges.
No!
It was just easier to incorporate that and let it happen. It would just become part of what was going on, like an itch. Just get rid of that scratch and we would be done and move on. Lovett.
No. My GF does the same. My bitch wife does the same thing to me. I'm lucky if I even get a hand job.
Described the whole process as an act of getting
Do
to
you
know
guys think it'd get a
Peter
heart
better.
attack
It
from
was in
Margaret
no
due
way
to the
sexual
dolphin
for her.
residue?
It wasn't sexual on my
gross.
part. Sensuous, perhaps.
No.
She debated.
See, that's what, like a girl dolphin. Only girls dolphin. Girl dolphins produce that. Only girl dolphins.
getting to know Peter better. It was in no way sexual for her. It wasn't sexual on my part. Sensuous, perhaps, she debated.
Sensuous?
It seemed to me that it made the bond closer, and that really was all it was. I was there to get to know Peter. That was a part of Peter, and she was right. Her bond with Peter the dolphin did get deeper, but something unexpected happened that would lead to the end of that bond, and the end of the life of the dolphin too. John was getting impatient with the dolphins, as he had expected that after all these years, there should be basic progress in deciphering the dolphins' language. After being introduced to the LSD drug, which was capable of stimulating and intensifying thoughts and emotions at a Hollywood party, his first thought was, how could this help with my research on dolphins?
No! You don't hear that every day.
The dolphins' language. After being introduced to the LSD drug, which was capable of stimulating and intensifying thoughts and emotions at a Hollywood party, his first thought was, how could this help with my research on dolphins? So, Lily would join a small group of scientists licensed by the government to research the drugs, giving him access to it in mass quantities. It took pleas from Lovett to stop him from trying it on Peter,
Literally,
but he did test it on the other dolphins. Unfortunately, it had little to no effect. But once John's new carefree attitude towards the dolphins was noticed, the funding stopped, and they had to relocate Peter to a confined Miami lab. It was a heartbreaking moment for both the lady and the dolphin, but there was little any one of them could do. A few weeks after their separation, Lovett received the most shocking news. Peter had committed suicide. Dolphins are not automatic air breathers like us. It takes careful effort from them to breathe. And when life gets too tough, a dolphin would often take a deep breath and sink into the water. Peter obviously couldn't handle the misery of separation from Margaret and would decide to end it all by himself. Lovett was unhappy and also relieved by the news that Peter would not spend his last days in the
He had been doing research with us for years. He is also the one who invented sensory deprivation chambers.
That was him? John Lily? God, that's fucked. Wait, so this
what
dolphin...
good pussy does to a motherfucker.
This dolphin fumbled a bad bitch. That's so fucked up. That's sad as hell. It literally got so heartbroken about his human girlfriend leaving that he had to end it all. Jesus Christ. Wait, are dolphins the only animals besides humans that are capable of doing that? No? Penguins do it! Elephants? No, that's so sad. Bro, animals don't deserve to experience that much, like, emotional turmoil. That's not right.
He was just gone, and that was okay. She would continue at the St. Thomas laboratory even after the failed experiment. Margaret got married to the original photographer who worked on the research. They shared 3 kids and made the Dolphin Point Laboratory their home.
So
Margaret has kept this experience a secret for over 5 decades and just recently started granting interviews. And this is how a relationship with a dolphin got this complicated. Now it's your turn. Have you heard about Margaret and Peter the dolphin before? Do you have any fond memories of the big brain mammals? Let us know in the comments, and while at it, give this video a like if you... Do you have any fond memories of the big brain mammals?
Yeah, lots of good memories from watching this video. Thank you very much. I wonder if there's more. I want to know more about all this shit.
Do you have happy memories of these wonderful animals, the ones that get jerked off and die?
Shut up! The man who loved a dolphin way too much? Warning, gross? There's a man story too?
This is Florida.
Is the dummy
Land
real?
of flowers, orange groves, beaches,
Of course it was in Florida. Of course.
gunfights, riding porpoises.
I first discovered Florida Land as a tourist, being taken there by my parents in the mid-1960s. I remember shooting some home movies, seeing the dolphins splashing around in their pool, the Indian fire eater, the Western shootout, all the tacky treats that they had there.
Wilhelm
Land
scream!
was one of
Wilhelm
the
scream!
last vestiges of old
There's a
Florida,
Wilhelm scream.
which has
Put that
now
on TV tropes.
basically completely disappeared.
It's the porpoise pool. And what a great playmate he's found.
The Dolphin show entailed a lot of things that you don't see in Dolphin shows anymore, like dolphins wearing floppy hats or dressing up in hula
That is
hoops.
pretty cool.
My name is Malcolm J. Brenner, and this is the story of how I fell in love with Dolly the Dolphin.
That's him?
So is this stream going to be about people banging dolphins?
No. I'm sorry. I'm going down a rabbit hole because someone brought up the dolphin thing, and now I'm stuck on it. I just have that like morbid curiosity problem where like I know I'm gonna get weirded out and grossed out, but I have to know. I have to. Down the dolphin hole. How I Met Your Mother. Bro, this guy looks like Elon Musk if he was in like a fucking Eldritch horror book. So just Elon Musk, yeah.
I've worked as a freelance writer, photographer, and journalist for most of my career. Probably the most
Elon Musk,
productive
if
part
he
of my
dated a
career
dolphin
was the
instead
10
of
years I
Grimes.
spent in
Honestly,
New Mexico,
these people could
reporting
have
on the
kept
Navajo
their
Nation,
stories to the
mostly for
grave.
town newspapers. That was a
Yeah, if I
fascinating
did
work.
something like this, you could not torture this information out of me.
It was the early 70s when I was going to New College. I was asked by a woman writer to take some photographs to illustrate a book that she was going to write about the dolphins at Florida Land. It was my first professional gig, really, as a freelance
He really
photographer.
does look like
I
a
met
guy
the
that would have
author at her
relations
house
with an
in
animal.
Sarasota, and we took her boat down to Florida Land. When we got out of the boat, we were standing on the dock.
It is called a
looking down at this
blowhole for a
dolphin.
reason, I
She
suppose.
stared up at us, and we stared down at her, and the writer said, "This is Dolly. Malcolm, meet Dolly. Dolly, meet Malcolm." There were no intimations
their first meeting, their little meet cute.
this dolphin and I would become lovers eventually.
This is the face of
I
a
was
man
fascinated.
thinking,
I'd never
get
been
that
close to a
dolphin off the
dolphin
screen
before.
or I'm
I was
gonna fuck
enormously
it.
interested. I
I'm
slipped into
gonna
the water
fuck
with
it.
her. She wouldn't come anywhere near me, of course. Dolphins are usually suspicious of strange people. She stayed on the other side of the pen, and then the assistant
I'll have
trainer
what she's
began
having.
urging me to swim out.
Two dolphin
to
sex
take the
streams
first
is a
move, you know, to be
coincidence.
bold,
3
you know.
dolphin
So I
sex
struck out
streams
to the middle
though.
of the pen and sort of chased her
Hey,
around
hey,
for a
listen,
while.
I know I'm
and finally,
freezing.
we ended up in the shallows. Very slowly, she
I know
came
my
to the
truth.
point where I could reach out and touch her. I started rubbing her forehead. She seemed to
Wait, I'm talking over the important part.
and sort of chased her around for a while. And finally, we ended up in the shallows. Very slowly, she came to the point where I could reach out and touch her. I started rubbing her forehead. She seemed to enjoy that, so I started rubbing her along her back and working my way towards her flukes, her tail. And as I was rubbing her and moving my hand towards her tail, Dolly was slowly rolling around her long axis, so that by the time that I got midway down her body, I was rubbing her belly instead of rubbing her back. And she swam forward a little bit so that I was rubbing her genital slit, and then she
No!
stopped moving.
Elon Musk looking him always knew he was a dolphin fucker to.
Bro, it's like the mermaid from the lighthouse. Is that what they used as like a model for that?
Didn't think that that was the kind of show that you know, parents would be bringing their kids to Florida Land
But
to see.
Dusty. Bro,
She was-
look at you. Look at that. Bro, look at that slutty. She knows. She's that bitch. She's gonna get that Birkin bag.
Kept in the sea level pens because she was at the
Whore.
time the only dolphin outside of the U.S. Navy that was trained to work in open water. Her part of the show was to swim along with a riverboat in the intercoastal waterway and jump for fish, which her trainer would be holding on the upper deck of this riverboat. It was a really incredible performance.
Incredible performance.
When I would get in the water with her, she would approach me.
I feel it coming.
He would solicit attention.
I feel it coming. I feel it coming. I feel it coming. I feel it coming.
I never fed her. I never gave her any kind of food rewards. Her courtship, as it progressed, got more vigorous and intense. And if I tried to push her away,
I'm turning the subtitles off. I'm sorry. I have to turn it off.
Angry with me.
Why is it
One time when she wanted to
This is just
masturbate
making
on
me
my
think
foot,
of the
and I
South
wouldn't
Park
let her,
episode where Kyle's
she threw
dad gets
herself on top
surgery
of
to
me
look like a dolphin.
pushed me down to the
Fuck, that
12-foot
episode
bottom
was
of the pool. Those were the tactics that she was trying on me at first. Eventually, she seemed to get the message that that wasn't going to work. She
What
became
is
very
this
gentle.
music? I'm getting like I'm getting whiplash. The ominous like unsolved mystery music.
Why does it sound like he is
fit
being
way better.
questioned by the police?
Bro, it's like one of those videos where someone's being interrogated in the interrogation room and someone's like psychoanalyzing them every few seconds. Like analyzing their body language. Why is this music so like jovial sounding?
To get the message that that wasn't going to work. She became very gentle. She might open her jaws and run her teeth very gently along my arm or my leg, which produced an amazingly erotic feeling to me, which I think was her way of saying to me, look, I'm very strong, but I'm not going to harm you.
Oh my
I knew
God.
at that time that there was something different about my sexuality, that it wasn't.
Is he about to say that he's dolphin sexual? He's dolphin gay.
Normal like other guys.
Hey
I wanted
kids,
desperately to
you
be
know I
normal,
love your
to have
mother,
a
but she can never love
relationship
me
with
like
a
a
woman.
dolphin can.
I first realized I was sexually
Jelly.
attracted to animals when my father took me to see a Walt Disney movie called The Shaggy Dog. And strangely enough, I found myself getting an erection at 5 years old.
That's it! I'm fucking done! Fuck this! What the fuck? What, bro? Excuse me?
Sexually attracted to animals when my father took me to see a Walt Disney movie called The Shaggy Dog. And strangely enough, I found myself getting an erection at 5 years old. After that, I was aware that there was something different about my sexuality. Zoophilia
Oh.
is Greek for lover of animals. A zoophile is someone in contrast to a bestialist who might just have sex with an animal and walk away. A zoophile
Yeah, bro, I'm not like those fuck boys. I'm not a pump and dump kind of guy when it comes to fucking animals, you know? I'm in it for the love, for the connection, like the
Hi,
emotional connection.
did you know that in terms of
versus the
male human
physical?
and female breeding, dolphins are the most compatible for humans? Not only are they in the fielded group, which is mostly comprised of mammals, dolphins are an average of 8.5 tall and 200. This means they're large enough to be able to handle human.
Please get help. Please seek help now.
This guy is the Og furry.
No, that lady came before him, didn't she?
This is the weirdest campaign ad I have ever seen. We can turn this off at any time now would be good. Or like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, this guy's running for the governor of Florida.
This is why you don't take your
He has my
5 years
vote.
old kids to watch Disney.
Yeah, because Disney, I think Disney started as furry propaganda.
is somebody who has tender or caring emotions for their animal partner. My first sexual encounter with an animal came when I was about 11 or 12.
No!
I tried to have sex with the family dog.
No! I have to skip this. I can't hear about it.
Normal male desires for women. It made me feel very embarrassed. It made me feel abnormal.
Yeah, I wonder why, bro.
Made me feel like I wasn't one of the guys, you know?
Like, imagine him in college, like sitting around, like having a beer with like the frat boys, and they're like, "Oh no, bro, tits are where it's at, bro. Like I'm a total tit guy. Like, I love how they jiggle and bounce around." And another guy's like, "No, bro, asses are way hotter. I love
This
asses.
man needs to be stopped.
Asses are hot, and but no, bro, they poop out of there. They poop out of their butt." And then this guy is just sitting awkwardly in the corner, and he's like, "Yeah, I really like fins."
Because the other guys would be telling dirty jokes about girls, and
Fins and paws.
I just couldn't care. Whatever I was getting from the Dolphin seemed very fulfilling, very rewarding.
No, I like
It was like she was the only female who was really paying any attention to me. And that made a tremendous amount of difference to me.
Bro, look how the Dolphin is looking at him.
And that made a tremendous amount of difference to me. At one point, on a particularly cold day when everybody else was inside the trainer's hut, I found myself thinking, this Dolphin's been courting me. I could have sex with her. So
She's not into you, bro. She doesn't even know you.
I tried. She was passive. She lay in the water and let me try to penetrate her.
I don't know about this field
And
trip.
I couldn't do it. The water was too cold.
That's why he couldn't do it, because the water was too cold. I was in the pool!
Felt very nervous. I felt like we were going to be discovered at any moment.
Every new sentence makes this more awful.
No,
don't
just when
know
I
if
think
any-
he's not gonna say something more fucked up than what he previously said, he keeps topping himself, like he topped the Dolphin.
Everybody is born a zoophile. I think that what made me a zoophile was the very intense physical and sexual abuse I suffered at the hands of a psychiatrist.
No! That's too fucked up! Okay, I'm skipping this shit.
Visit to the park that I made. The park had been closed down, the property had been sold off, the whole thing was going to be developed into a housing complex.
What? Wait, what is he? I think I skipped too far.
I successfully
How is he
made love with
talking about
Dolly
this like it's a normal
last
thing?
Visit to the park that I made. The park had been closed
It
down.
really does feel like a campaign ad, like the background and how he's sitting here.
The property had been sold off. The whole thing was going to be developed into a housing complex. All the dolphins had been shipped out except for Dolly and one male dolphin. They were in
Wait, they really just put a dolphin on a fucking plane? Whoa. That must be so trippy for the dolphin. Like, they have them like in like a little pool inside of the cabin. What does it feel like to be in the water in the air?
except for Dolly and one male dolphin. They were in a pool together. I went down to the park that day without any real idea whether I was going to be able to make love to her or not, but just hoping that that would happen. We started a very long courtship that lasted about half an hour. Frankly, it was a little difficult to make
What
love
is
with her.
this animation?
There's no backstop in the water. It's a frictionless environment. She was very cooperative. She was very gentle.
What?
She was enormously erotic. We played games. We had
Bro. This is a guy describing his like Discord GF.
She was enormously erotic. We played games. Had to try several different positions before we found one that worked, which was her floating horizontal in the water and me being vertical,
She
coming
pocketed
into
me
her
as
from the
Mercy
side
on
that way.
Overwatch.
And that seemed to work a whole lot better because I could hold
What
on
is
to
he
her back
doing?
with one
He's
hand
playing it like a guitar.
and hold and guide my penis with the other
No.
hand so it didn't slip out of her. Because of the fact that they live in the water, the female dolphins'
Yo,
internal
do you think when he like was part of this documentary, do you think he gave like specific artistic input on how he wanted the animation to look? And he's like, can you make me look ripped as fuck?
didn't slip out of
Can you
her.
make me look just fucking
Because
jacked and cut?
of the fact that they live in the water, the
I'm
female
fucking the
dolphins
dolphin.
internal genitalia is a little more complicated than a woman's. They have some waterproofing.
Imagine being the
features in
person
there
on
that might
Fiverr who
describe
had to make
valves
that
almost.
animation for like $75 over a weekend.
Bro, some like 15-year-old kid who lives on the other side of the world gets the commission for that. It's like, all right, okay, you want like a muscular guy playing a dolphin like a guitar? All right, 2-day delivery, here you go.
As we started making love, I felt this just intense sense of merging with her on every level. Emotionally, mentally,
That's beautiful.
physically, spiritually.
Thank you.
It's really
FKNAO
like we stopped being two individual
for getting those
creatures
subs.
and became one creature that was making love with itself. I've never experienced such intense intimacy with anyone. It felt transcendental.
Wait.
It felt cosmic. As I climaxed, Dolly groaned. She made a series of 3 groans in a rising cadence, and that led me to believe that she had also experienced an orgasm. And I pulled out of her and swam over to the wire fence that encircled the pool.
Don't laugh, I think
So
he's
the
onto
jelly is
something.
real.
The jelly?
Was
No,
this
I don't
MF
think
on
the jelly
LSD
is
too?
real. He was almost certainly on LSD. It was that time of year.
Dolly swam up to me. She laid her snout on my shoulder. She embraced me with her flippers.
Still
and
a
we just
better
stared
love
into each
story
other's
than
eyes for a couple of
Twilight.
minutes.
Bro, this is like a scene from Twilight. This is literally Edward Cullen and Bella's honeymoon. When they had sex for the first time. And he was like, no, Bella, I can't. My vampire powers will get too strong and I might kill you while we bang. And she's like, no, Edward, let's do it. And then they end up like destroying the entire room while doing it for the first time. And then they like embrace each other out in the water in front of the full moon.
Nuts.
What the fuck?
Well, when other people claim that I must
Did
have
she get
raped a
pregnant?
dolphin, my response is that you can't outswim a dolphin in the water. Michael Phelps could not outswim a dolphin in the water. Dolphin in the water is in its element. We spent half an hour in courtship. If it had been rape, it would have been easier for her to stay in the pen where the male dolphin would have protected her from me.
Look at the fucking insanity in his eyes.
Instead, she chose
This guy
to
must be pugging so hard
squeeze
about
between
the
a couple
Beast
of
Wars
boards and
movie.
get into another
Oh,
pen where we had some
God.
privacy. And what she ended up wanting to do was make love with me. Their claim that
I'm
this was
sure,
rape
bro, I'm sure.
is based on a whole bunch of fallacies. I couldn't find any.
You see, it's a logical fallacy. Okay, you're strawmanning me you're strawmanning me about fucking the dolphin. You're making a strawman fallacy.
Moral or ethical objections, and I still don't. I think what may have
can't have
harmed
your
her
cake and
was
eat
that
it
we
too.
both developed an emotional attachment. In fact, I think it's fair to say that if I hadn't been involved with Dolly,
Ad hominem.
if I hadn't been in love with Dolly, I never would have bothered to write a book about the experience. If this was just some farm boy with a goat, I'm not sure that's a
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
worthwhile story.
That about sums
I'm pretty
it up.
convinced that Dolly was also in love with me just from the way
This
she
man
behaved.
looks like Elon Musk melted and fucked a dolphin.
Bro. So he just looks like Elon Musk. This is Elon Musk in about 5 years.
I'm coming out of this stream a changed man.
Me too, bro. Me too. You know how like they talk about how presidents are under so much stress from running the country that they age rapidly? Like Obama came out looking like really, really wrinkly and old after just like 4 years. This is what happened to Elon after running Twitter. The momentous gargantuan task of running Twitter for just a year.
behaved. I'm convinced that we were in love
Most
with
say
each
no
other.
why, man.
Technically, he's a Florida man. No, please don't cry. Don't cry and talk about like traumatic shit. Please. Oh, fuck.
You- What happened to Dolly after our relationship was very sad.
What happened
One
to
morning
her?
in June, I woke up from this horrible nightmare that involved dying dolphins trapped in a very dark, basement-like setting.
No.
I woke up, I literally couldn't breathe. My heart felt like it had stopped beating. I was talking with a relative of the woman writers, and he told me that Dolly had died. I felt like the breath had stopped in my
He did have like a spiritual connection with her.
lungs. Later on, when I got a vehicle, I drove to Mississippi and explored the oceanarium where she died. I realized there was just an enormous number of similarities between the oceanarium and my dream. Her trainer told me that she stopped feeding, and then one morning he just came out and found her dead on the bottom of the pen.
What?
What you have to understand is that a dolphin's breathing is voluntary. Every breath a dolphin takes, it thinks about.
It's the same
Not
as
like
the
human
other
breathing,
dolphin.
where if we go unconscious, we keep breathing. The dolphin can go into a funk and just stop breathing.
Okay, but the dolphin should be
apparently what
arrested. The mentally ill can't give consent. I was feeling quite bad about my day, but then I saw this and I'm like, hey, life ain't so bad.
Jesus Christ. It's a good thing that dolphin died. That's so fucked. Yeah, I know. This is why I'm watching this. I'm having like a really I'm hungover as fuck. I felt sick all day. I need to get my mind off it. You know, like by kind of putting the energy elsewhere. Do dolphins just like do that a lot when they're kept in captivity like that? I feel like at least back in the day, animals at like SeaWorld or whatever were treated horribly.
Wait, he said when I got a vehicle. Was this dude walking on the interstate in his flip-floppies to go bang his dolphin girlfriend?
Oh, did he not have a car? Bro, that dolphin had such low standards. He's fucking on this guy, didn't even have a car, didn't even have a license or anything. God damn.
To her. She committed suicide. Dolly died of a broken heart. I do feel a lot of responsibility for Dolly's death. I feel like emotionally
This
I should have
man
been
fucked
there
a
for
dolphin to death.
her. I feel like in a sense I abandoned her because I was too concerned about the feelings of weirdness I was having. I was very much in love with
Yeah,
Dolly.
I'm sure that's what
I think
happened.
I was
bro.
probably more in love with Dolly than I've been with anyone else in my life, and less able to be aware of it at the time just because of the strangeness of it.
Oh, Jesus.
Would I change being a zoophile? I
What's
don't know.
the statute of limitations on doing
What I
something
would
like
change, I think, is the ending.
this? And like admitting to it.
To the
Can't he
story
like
with
go to
Dolly.
jail? Can they prove it? Yeah, maybe this is all in his head. Whoa, don't word it like that. Jesus.
Why is this man doing a documentary and not being in jail?
He has kids? He has
Whoa,
like
that
presumably
guy
a
looks
wife?
like my dead dad. I should show this to my mom and tell her it's from her.
No, 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 no. Yeah, imagine if your dad was the dolphin fucker guy. Bro, imagine being his daughter going on YouTube like, I need to watch something while I eat. I wonder what sounds interesting. Oh, a guy who loves dolphins? Who's this? Does the daughter have dolphin DNA? Is she a mermaid? Shylily origin story.
His children are animorphs.
No. Actually, Shylily is an orca. Very different from a dolphin. Check your attitude at the door. Fake fan. Fake fucking fan. That was a really well-made documentary despite the fucked up subject material. Orcas are very different from bottlenose dolphins. They're completely different. And better. Did I make this? No, I wish I did. It's a very well-made film. What is this music? Inspired by the book Wet Goddess Recollections of a Dolphin Lover? Oh! whimsical music for this dolphin fucking documentary.